program will commence in the next 1 minute. Please be seated as the program will commence in the next 1 minute. Good morning, sir. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered here this morning to conduct the closing ceremony of Operation Anouanze. I am Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Teotapla, Chief of Public Affairs, Armed Forces of Liberia, and the Master of Ceremony for this program. We will begin by posting the flags of participating countries, followed by the Liberian national anthem. Post the flags of participating countries. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the posting of the flag. Ladies and gentlemen, the flags of participating countries are now posted. The Liberian national anthem. Please be seated. The Commander, Liberian Coast Guard, Lieutenant Commander Consular Georgia, will now deliver his welcome address.
The Special Representative of the ECOWAS, Your Excellency Coordinator of Liberia, Representative of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes, the Director of the Center for Maritime Security in West Africa, Mao, the Director of the Multinational Center for Maritime Security, Zone F, the distinguished Senator Cyrus Momo, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Veterans Affairs, the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, and our special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of National Defense, ably represented by the Deputy Minister of Operations, Honorable Spencer Nilo, the ECOWAS Advisory Training Team, our U.S. counterpart, senior officers, the host, the National Port Authority family, cooperating maritime security agencies in Liberia, commanders of units, and the leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great honor and privilege that I welcome you today on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Defense, the Chief of Staff, and battle men and women of the Armed Forces of Liberia to the closing ceremony of Operations Anouanze 4 2026. As we bring this important regional maritime operation to a close, I wish to express our sincere appreciation to the participating countries, institutions, our partners for the professionalism, cooperations, and commitment demonstrated throughout this exercise. Operation Anouanze brought together maritime forces from Sisters Republic, to start with the Republic of Ghana, the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, the Republic of Sierra Leone, the Republic of Guinea, and of course Liberia, which have the distinguished honor of hosting the 2026 edition. The objective is to increase and strengthen regional maritime security, increase coordinated naval presence, and improve our collective capacity to prevent and respond to maritime-related crimes within our water as well as the sub-region. The Honorable Minister of Defense, distinguished guests, our maritime domain is vital to the prosperity and security of our country. It supports trade, fisheries, transportation, food security, and the livelihoods of millions of our people. At the same time, our water remains vulnerable to illegal fishing, piracy, armed robbery at sea, narcotics trafficking, human trafficking, smuggling, and other forms of transnational maritime crimes. Our special guests of honor, distinguished guests, these threats do not only represent national borders, they developed during these operations have strengthened our ability to identify suspicious activities, deter criminal behavior, and respond effectively to the threat at sea. More importantly, the operations have reinforced a spirit of solidarity and partnership that is essential to a lasting maritime security in the sub-region. Distinguished guests, Liberia is proud to have hosted this year's edition. We are grateful for the confidence placed in our country and for the cooperation extended by our participating forces. I'd like to commend specifically the captains and sailors of our participating naval ship from the Republic of Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, as well as the sailors of the Liberian Coast Guard that was part of this unique operation. I also recognize the important contributions of our national maritime stakeholders like the NPA, the National Drugs Enforcement Agency, the Liberian National Police, the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, the Liberian Maritime Authority, among other relevant maritime stakeholders in Liberia. Maritime security shared responsibility this also depends on the close coordinations among military forces and agencies, maritime authorities, and the relevant government institutions. On behalf of the Coast Guard, I extend our gratitude to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes for sponsoring Operation Anouanze 4. We are equally grateful to the ECOWAS, to the Center for Maritime Security in West Africa, Kismawo, to the Multinational Maritime Coordination Center, Zone F, and all other partners that supported and committed to strengthening maritime security in the sub-region. As we conclude these operations and return to our respective countries and institutions, let us sustain the partnership we build. Let us continue to share information. Let us coordinate our patrols and support one another and remain united in protecting the waters and people of West Africa. To all participating delegation, thank you for your service. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you for your commitment. Your presence has made these operations meaningful and successful. The Honorable Guest of Honor, Minister of Defense, with the lesson and our participants with the lesson learned from Operation Anouanze 4 guide our future efforts and our collective resolve continue to grow. Thank you, and may God bless us all. Thank you.
Director of the Multinational Maritime Coordination Center, Zone F, will give us an overview of Operation Anouanze 4.
The ECOWAS Permanent Representative to Liberia, Director Ismail, Liberian Chief of Defense Staff, Acting Head of Liberian Coast Guard, Heads of Naval Operations of Navies for Zone F, Representative of the UNODC, Commanding Officers Anouanze, Fariba, and Ghana Navy Ship Ashimota, distinguished guests, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor to report on the just ended Operation Anouanze 4. As part of regional cooperation among member states of Zone F of the Yaoundé Architecture, a joint patrol was conducted from Monday 24th to Wednesday 26th August in the maritime waters of Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea, under the coordination of the ECOWAS Multinational Maritime Coordinating Center, Zone F. The objective of this mission was to contribute to strengthening maritime security and safety in the SAC region with a view to detect and suppress illicit activities at sea within the framework of the ECOWAS Integrated Maritime Strategy. My report will cover 3 points. Firstly, the conduct of the operations. Secondly, the assessment, and finally, some recommendations. Conduct of operations. Phase 1, operations. During this phase, the MFCC requested for support from UNODC for the closing ceremony and fuel for ships that participated in this operation. And I'm happy to report that all the necessary assistance were duly received and acknowledged. Prior to the commencement of the operation, 3 conferences were held. The initial planning conference on 15th of April, main planning conference on the 18th of June, and the final planning conference on the 10th of August. All conferences were held online. Phase 2, the execution of joint patrols. The operation commenced on Monday, 24th August at 0600 hours and ended on Wednesday, 26th August at 1900 hours with both Line Leadership Achimota and Amiral Fadiga in Liberian waters. Both ships embarked ship riders from the Liberian Coast Guard to patrol the maritime waters. OPV Amiral Fadiga had to detach to embark armed guards on board vessel of interest IP Atlantic IV that was under tow from Cote d'Ivoire. Simultaneously, the navies of Sierra Leone and Guinea conducted joint patrols along their common maritime boundaries. Overall, the operation lasted for 3 days and covered a total distance of 970 nautical miles. On the assessment of the operations, 10 vessels were checked with no infractions recorded. The following recommendations were made. 1. To increase the frequency of joint operations and optimize their schedule according to high areas and periods. 2. To strengthen satellite surveillance capabilities across the EEZ and ensure regular updates of the maritime picture by the maritime operations centers. And lastly, to strengthen the capabilities and interoperability of VBSS teams, particularly in areas of vessel boarding, control, and inspection. Ladies and gentlemen, these recommendations will be tabled before the Conference of Chiefs of Naval Staff and Head of Coast Guard within June 12th in October at Abidjan for the development of an action plan for the 2027 Operation Anouanze. In conclusion, the mission contributed to enhancing maritime domain awareness and further strengthening interoperability among the navies of Zone F. The results achieved further affirm the relevance of this operational framework and call for the continuation and further intensification of joint patrols based on maritime intelligence focused on high-risk areas. I once again extend my heartfelt appreciation to the Chiefs of Naval Staff and Heads of Coast Guard and the organizers of this closing ceremony for their unwavering dedication to this crucial cause. Together, we can build a safer, more secure, and prosperous maritime environment for our region. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Next is the recognition and reading of citation. Captains of the 2 ships that are participating in this exercise, please post forward. Thank you. At this time, Lieutenant Nigerian grade B will mount the podium for the reading of citation.
Reading of citation, beginning with the Ghana Navy ship Achimota. 35 years before the deployment, an early Ghana Navy ship Achimota carried Ghanaian troops into a besieged Liberian capital, put enemy fire in these waters, and help foes open the door through which regional peacekeepers first enter Liberia. This exercise is not the first contact, it is a return. On 10 August 1990, GNS Achimota and her sister ship, GNS Uganda, escorted MV Tano River, carrying Ghana's contingent to the newly formed ECOWAS monitoring group, ECOWAS. They reached Freetown on 13 August and joined forces from Nigeria, Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Gambia. Monrovia lay in process. President Sanyago besieged in the executive mansion by Charles Taylor's rebels, had only a fragment of the city, while a rival faction controlled the port. ECOWAS needed to learn on. Later that August, a combined Nigerian Ghanaian task force, including Achimota and Uganda, sailed from Monrovia carrying 3,000 troops. They approached the free port under direct rebel fire, fought through, and dodged. That learning gave ECOWAS its foothold in Liberia and opened a safe haven for thousands seeking shelter and evacuation. Achimota service continued. On 14 September 1990, rebel artillery stopped off and her sister ship near Monrovia, killing 2 Ghanaians, sailors, and 3 Nigerian nurses. She withdrew for repair, then returned to duty by conducting sealess on-fire support, evacuation, sanctions enforcement through the remainder of Ghana's ECOWAS commitment. That ship no longer sailed. Her name was passed on in 2024 to the third GNS Achimota, the vessel you see here today. Now the Navy's largest vessel. Today, as she operates alongside Liberia and Ivorian forces, she carried a name Liberia has already left in far harder circumstances. Reading of the citation recognition for Amora Farida. The offshore patrol vessel OPV Amora Farida is a unit of the Ivorian Navy, primarily tasked with maritime surveillance and the protection of Côte d'Ivoire's maritime interests and approaches. The Amora Farida also contributes to regional and international maritime cooperation through joint exercises, patrols, and multinational operations, particularly within the framework of efforts to enhance maritime security in the Gulf of Guinea. With its operational capacity and training crews, the vessel plays an important role in safeguarding national sovereignty, maritime security, and freedom of navigation in Côte d'Ivoire's maritime community. distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on my right is J.S. Achibuka, and on my left is Amara Fadi. At this point, the captains of the participating navies will remain posted, and I will have the honor to respectfully welcome to the podium the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Major General Emerson Fire Fuller, to kindly do all the honor to present the solemn years and followed by a brief remarks. So you are welcome, sir. Next, I will respectfully invite the special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Defense, ably represented by the Deputy Minister of Operations, Honorable Spencer, to please present his gift to the Ghanaian Navy, the Ivorian Navy ship, Fabida. This award is presented to Contact Admiral Afadika, the Ivorian naval ship, in sincere appreciation of their commitment, cooperations, and invaluable contribution to the successful execution of Operation Anouanze, and to the ship and crew dedicated to service and support. Your partnership exemplifies the spirit of regional cooperation and collective actions in strengthening maritime security across the ECOWAS maritime domain. Presented by Naval Captain Daniel Iwu, Director, MMCC Zone F, Liberia, August 2026. Thank you very much, sir. The second presentation will be to the Ghanaian Navy ship Achimota. And to do this honor, to kindly present this for us, is the Honorable Distinguished Senator Cyrus Momo, the Chairman of the Senate Committee on National Defense, Intelligence and Veteran Affairs. You are welcome, sir. This presentation is done to the Ghanaian Navy ship Achimota in sincere appreciations of your commitment, cooperation, and invaluable contribution to the successful executions of Operation Anouanze, and to the ship and crew dedicated to service and support. Your partnership exemplifies the spirit of regional cooperation and collective actions in strengthening maritime security across the ECOWAS maritime domain. And it is so presented by Captain Daniel Iwu, Director, MMCC Zone F, on this stage. Sir. Thank you very much, Honorable Senator. At this point, we will respectfully invite the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia for his remarks. You can please proceed with us.
Defense and the Special Guest of Honor, Madam Majority Engineer Josh, who is ably represented by Minister of Operations of Defense, Honorable Spencer Liko, Honorable Senator Momo Tamusaris, Chairman of Defense, Security and Veteran Affairs, our ECOWAS Resident Representative to Liberia, Representative of the United Nations on Drugs and Crimes, Director of PRIMO and the Multinational Maritime Coordination Center, Zone F, representatives of our national maritime security institutions, the Office of the Security Corporations, U.S. Embassy, ECOWAS Ambassador Training Team, the Commander, Liberian Coast Guard Unit Commanders, Captains and personnel of the participating Navy ships, our good friend and brother, Honorable Sarah Singh, Director General of NAFA, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As we conclude Operation Anouanze 4, I wish to express my sincere appreciation to all participating countries and partners institutions for the professionalism, cooperations, and commitment demonstrated throughout this important sub-regional maritime operations. Operations Anouanze 4 brought together the maritime forces of Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia in pursuit of a common objective to increase naval presence, strengthen regional operations, and improve our collective ability to combat maritime-related crimes. Armed robbery at sea, narcotics trafficking, human trafficking, smuggling, and other forms of transnational crimes. But these threats cross national boundaries and require a coordinated regional response. The successful conduct of these operations has demonstrated what we can achieve and violators and deter illegal activities within our maritime domain. Liberia is honored to have hosted this year's operations. We participate and appreciate the confidence placed in our country and the cooperation extended by all participating forces. I commend the officers, sailors, Coast Guard personnel, and support staff whose discipline and dedication contributed to the success of these operations. I'd like to also recognize the important role played by Liberian national maritime security stakeholders. Maritime security is a shared responsibility that requires close cooperation amongst the military, law enforcement agencies, and other relevant government institutions. On behalf of the Armed Forces of Liberia, I extend our sincere gratitude to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes for sponsoring Operations Anouanze 4. We are eagerly grateful to ECOWAS, PRIMO, the Multinational Maritime Coordination Center, and all other partners for their valuable support. As we return to our respective countries and institutions, let us sustain the professional relationship developed during these operations. Let us continue to share information, coordinate our activities, and stand together in protecting the waters of our sub-region. In recognition of our participations and valuable contribution to Operation Anouanze 4, it is now my pleasure to present the souvenir which we have already done and we are happy to share with you, and that is our own way of appreciating you, our brothers from Ghana, Nigeria, and Cote d'Ivoire. May the Lord bless all of us. And one thing I want us to take with us today, that when it comes to the ocean, no one country can do it alone. Thank you very much, and have yourself a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And so before we continue, I see that we are all very serious listening to speeches. To kind of make the ceremony a little spicy, we have our cultural team that will come and perform to you some of our traditional dances. Thank you. There's splendid performance by this very, very young culture troupe. a great performance. Thank you for such a great performance. Let us return to our remarks. Thank you. So one good thing you have learned from here is that this little child knows how to raise money. So when you are having your program, you better invite her. Yeah, near our churches, invite her. So I have the master sheet, and we will continue with remarks. But we will first start with the National Food Authority, a representative from the National Food Authority. We will now call on the Director General of the National Fishery and Aquaculture Authority.
Thank you. I always have a funny way of starting conversations. And I tell my brother from Nepal that oil and fish, they can be in the same water. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire are members of the Fisheries Committee for the West and Central Gulf of Guinea. And that is why we initiate periodic patrols, joint patrols on our waters. Just this year, we had the first joint patrol in April between Ghana and Liberia, just to have some deterrent on the oceans for illegal smuggling with the RB Atlantic. And as an entity, we took the deliberate action with Liberia Maritime Authority to review and be able to flag a lot of the illegal activities that occurred. And that vessel has been confiscated and fined a tune of $112,000 for breaking our laws. And that is an enforcement we're going to apply. And that tells us why these kind of regional collaborations are very critical. So on behalf of the Board of Directors, the management and staff of the National Fisheries Authority, we are excited to see this happening in the region, to see West African countries coordinating and collaborating in such a manner. And we hope and pray that this will continue in the right path. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I will now call on the Director multinational maritime coordination center, Zone F, to make remarks.
Bonjour, messieurs, dames. Honorable Minister, I would like to make my speak in French because my English is not good, but I will try in English. Honorable Deputy Minister of Operations, ECOWAS Permanent Representative to Liberia, Director of Presao in Abidjan, Liberian Chief of Defense Staff, Acting Head of Liberian Coast Guard, Head of Naval Operations of Navy's within Zone F, Representative of PNODC, our partner, Contre-Amiral Fatiga and DNS Achimota crew members, distinguished guests, GFM from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is with deep pride and honor I address you today on the occasion of the closing of Operational Anouanze 4. Allow me to pay a tribute to the distinguished authorities gathered here today. First and foremost, I would like to express our gratitude to the host country for its hospitality and its crucial support in organizing this ceremony. By permitting Ivorian and Ghanaian vessels carrying Liberian Coast Guard personnel on board to patrol its waters, Liberia has brilliantly demonstrated that national sovereignty is enriched by cooperation and fraternity and fraternal solidarity. I would like to thank the Minister of Defense for this perfect example of effective and enduring SAF-SAF cooperation. I commend the commitment of the head of operations of navies and coast guards, whose support was decisive to the success of this operation. I humbly ask you to convey our sincere gratitude to your respective Chief of Naval Staff. I would also like to thank the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, UNODC, for its ongoing support since the inception of this initiative. Distinguished guests, Anouanze is an annual Grand Maritime Patrol operation based on the pooling of our human and materials resources. This initiative aims to secure maritime space of Zone F, to test the interoperability of our naval forces, and to refine the coordination of our maritime center. Launched in 2021 by Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, this fourth edition demonstrates the vitality of our collective endeavor, which was successfully extended to the other nations of Zone F in 2024, 2025, and 2026 this year. This operation has its legal basis in the Memorandum of Understanding concluded on 29 July 2019 between ECOWAS and the member states of Maritime Zone F. Today's closing ceremony marks yet another important milestone in efforts to enhance maritime safety and security within Zone F maritime domain. Honorable, recent events involving IP Atlantic 4 further underscores the importance of maintaining close collaboration and cooperation among member states to combat illicit maritime crimes. Allow me to this point to commend the countries of Liberia and Cote d'Ivoire for their relentless role in this regard so far. Ladies and gentlemen, this time last year, we were in Freetown to bring Operation Anouanze 3 to a close. This year, we are here at the port of Monrovia with 2 flag vessels, Contre-Amiral Fatiga and DNS Achimota, to close Operation Anouanze 4. I would like to pay a special tribute to their crew and congratulate them on their professionalism. I extend these congratulations to the Guinean and Sierra Leonean navies for their joint patrols carried out in concert within the waters. Distinguished guests, the results of this operation are particularly satisfactory. Our objective going forward is to carry out at least 2 patrols lasting more than 4 days a year. Before ending my remarks, I call on all member states to honor their commitment by filling all the appointments allocated to them within the center. The success of our joint mission required unwavering commitment and constant synergy between member states. May harmony and efficiency continue to guide our shared maritime destiny. I wish you all a safe return to your respective countries, and may success continue to guide our future missions. Long live maritime safety and long live Operation Anouanze. Je vous remercie.
Thank you, sir. And so we have in our midst ECOWAS resident representative to Liberia, His Excellency Mohamed Kone. Sir, please mount the podium close to you for remarks.
It's about to rain, so let me just make my brief statement. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is a profound honor for me as a representative of ECOWAS to Liberia to address you all in this closing ceremony of Anouanze the 4th. First, I want to convey warm greetings from the President of ECOWAS, Dr. Umar Ali Toure, President of the ECOWAS, and the entire ECOWAS Commission of West Africa. To the government of Liberia, we also appreciate hosting our troop for this exercise during this period. To the Liberian Authority, the Ministry of Defense, and the Armed Forces, I express our community gratitude to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Operation Anouanze embodies a fundamental truth. The security of our maritime domain is invisible, and no West African state can protect and defend our waters alone. The ECOWAS maritime space as part of the wider Gulf of Guinea is one of the busiest and most vital maritime corridors in the world, as it remains exposed to threats that respect no border. And therefore, these abstracts or these threats are not only meant for Liberia, but affect not only West Africa, but the global world and economy and security of maritime illicit activities. It is for this reason that our community, guided by its integrated maritime strategy, and the provisions of the Yaoundé Code of Conduct, established its multinational maritime coordination center and launched the annual series of joint operations. These operations are the concrete expression of our collective will. Navies and maritime forces from neighboring states operating side by side, coordinating from one single center, sharing information in real time, and acting under one unified command. As reported here, over the course of these days, the men and women of Operation Anouanze 4 have demonstrated that this vision works. They have proved that when we stay together, our sea becomes safer. That when we trust one another, our shared maritime domain becomes secure. And that when we train together, we prepare ourselves for the crisis ahead, which we pray that will never occur. An operation of this scale cannot happen or does not happen by chance. And therefore, I wish to thank our partners from the US and other nationalities who came to support this process. We also want to extend our gratitude to each of you who serve. And I say this recognition of your community goes with you. You are the credible professional maritime force that West Africa needs. Allow me to conclude that our commitment as a commission, as a community, the ECOWAS will continue with interrupted support to invest in maritime domain, in awareness, in joint training and exercises, in providing and supporting the provision of equipment and welfare of maritime forces, and in strengthening intelligence sharing among member states. We call on all member states to sustain the political will demonstrated here today to maintain the momentum of this exercise between our navies, to consolidate the cooperation between our MCC and with the wider Gulf of Guinea architecture. For the sea is our shared resource and our shared livelihood. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the bonds between our navies remain the coordination network and determination of ECOWAS to secure our maritime domain and to progress with preventing maritime crime in our sub-region and the wider world. I thank you so much. God bless you and God bless West Africa.
Thank you, sir. We will now take remarks from a representative of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime.
Represents much more than ships sailing together at sea. It is a practical demonstration of regional solidarity, interoperability, and collective resolve. It translates the principles of Yaoundé architecture from agreements and coordination structures into tangible operational action at sea. The waters of the Gulf of Guinea remain vital to the economies and livelihoods of our people. Yet these waters continue to face threats from piracy, armed robbery at sea, illegal drug trafficking, illegal fishing, and other maritime crimes. No single country can effectively confront these challenges alone. That is why Operation Anouanze 4 matter. Through this patrol, Participating countries have shown that information sharing, coordinated deployment, interagency cooperation, and operations can turn our individual national capabilities into a regional effort in securing our sea. There is also a particularly symbolic dimension to this year's patrol. Among the participating vessels is the Ghana Navy ship Achimota. Decades ago, GNS Achimota sailed these waters as part of Ghana's contribution to ECOMOG operations in Liberia during the difficult period in the history of this region. Today, the same ship has returned to Liberian waters under different circumstances, not in response to conflict, but in the service of cooperation, maritime security, and regional integration. There is something profoundly significant in that journey. A ship that once came to these shores as part of efforts to help restore peace has returned as part of another regional effort, this time to preserve the peace, protect our common maritime space, and strengthen the bonds between our nations. It reminds us that ships do not only carry sailors and equipment, sometimes they also carry history, memory, and the enduring story of regional solidarity. The UNODC remains proud to support the countries of Zone F and the Brotherhood of Guinea in their architecture. Our engagement goes beyond supporting operations at sea. We continue to work with member states to strengthen maritime law enforcement capacity, interagency cooperation, legal frameworks, and the connection between interdictions at sea and effective investigations and prosecutions ashore. Ultimately, a joint patrol should not be measured only by the nautical miles covered by vessels deployed. Its deeper value lies in the relationships built, information exchange, procedures tested, lessons identified, and confidence developed among participating countries and agencies. The UNODC remains committed to working this journey with ECOWAS, MFCC Zone F, and member states and our international partners. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, let me conclude by congratulating the government and the people of Liberia for hosting this important operation and closing ceremony. I also congratulate the MFCC Zone F Secretariat for its coordination, the participating navies, maritime law enforcement agencies, and most importantly, the officers and personnel who went to sea and show our collective intentions into action. Anouanze has once again shown a simple but powerful truth. The sea may separate our shores, but our security binds us together. In the spirit of cooperation, shown during this patrol continue long after the participating ships have returned to their respective home countries. On that note, I wish all of you bon voyage in your return home, and thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next remarks will come from the Senate Chairman on Defense, Intelligence, and Veteran Affairs, Honorable Momo Saros. Thank you. Let me first appreciate our corporate crew for splendid performance, showcasing Liberia's cultural heritage. Mr. MC, I have a package for them. Yes, sir. Thank you. You know, I invited as the chairperson of the Security Committee that was Senate. I was so glad that I had a 30-minute speech reading. But because of the circumstances and weather and everything, I will speak only 5 minutes. protocol observed and sustained. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege to join you at this closing ceremony of Operational Anouanze for 2026. This operation reminds us of a fundamental truth. Our maritime security is a shared responsibility, and our regional strengths lies in our ability to work together. The waters that connects our countries also connect our economy, our communities, and our security interests. The threats that move across these waters do not respect national borders. Illicit trafficking, maritime crimes, illegal activities at sea, and other transnational threats therefore cannot be effectively addressed by one country acting alone. This is why Operational Anouanze is very, very important. Through coordinated patrol, maritime domain awareness, information sharing, and operational coordinations, Liberia, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and other participating partners are demonstrating the value of collective actions. Our maritime space is not simply an extension of our coastline. Our territorial waters and exclusive economic zones are part of our national sovereignty and an important foundation of our future economy. The whole resources support coastal communities, facilitate maritime commerce, and contribute to the broader prosperity of our nations. Protecting the space is therefore both a security responsibility and an economic responsibility. Regional cooperation, however, does not diminish national sovereignty. It strengthens our capacity to exercise and protect it. Partnerships such as this follow us to build trust, share information, improve coordination, and respond collectively while preserving our nation's sovereignty and responsibility in the maritime domain. As chairman of the Senate Committee on Defense, Intelligence, Security, and Veteran Affairs, I wish to commend the Ministry of National Defense, the Armed Forces of Liberia, and particularly the Liberian Coast Guard for participating in this important regional initiative. I also extend our appreciation to the commander and personnel who supported the Liberian phase of this operation. To the maritime and security personnel from Ghana, the Cote d'Ivoire, we express our sincere gratitude for your partnership and presence. Your cooperation demonstrates that the security of West Africa is best advanced through mutual respect, professional collaboration, and shared responsibility. Friend legislature, let me reaffirm that Liberia's security institution deserves sustained national attention. We must continue to strengthen maritime security capacity, institutional capacity, professional development, information sharing mechanism, and partnership necessary to protect our nation's interests and contribute meaningfully to regional security. The work does not end with this closing ceremony. Rather, there should be another step forward, deeper and more enduring in maritime corporations. Let's us therefore continue to build regions where our waters are secure, our resources are protected, our continents can flourish, and our people can look to the future with confidence. A secure maritime space is essential to secure Liberia, a prosperous West Africa, and a peaceful Atlantic region. May operational announcements deepens the bonds of cooperation between Liberia, Ghana, and Côte d'Ivoire, and our regional partners. I want to say this morning, thank you, and may God bless the Republic of Liberia and West Africa. Thank you for the invite. Thank you, sir. And so, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor is ready to speak, and he is no other but the Deputy Minister for Operations, Ministry of National Defense, Honorable Spencer Liko.
Permit me to skip protocols and just get all protocols observed due to time and also the weather. And also permit me to convey the regards of the Honorable Minister of National Defense, Brigadier General Jordan Janet George retired, who are loved to be here, but due to ongoing cabinet meeting at the Executive Mansion, she has asked a proxy on her behalf. It is my distinct honor and privilege on behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Liberia and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, as well as the Honorable Minister of National Defense, and on behalf of the government and people of Liberia, to welcome you to the closing ceremony of Operation Anouanze 4. Today marks the successful conclusion of several days of intensive multinational maritime cooperation and operational engagement within Liberia Exclusive Economic Zone. Liberia is proud through the Liberia Coast Guard to have hosted this important phase of an exercise that reflects our shared commitment to maritime security in the Gulf of Guinea. Operational Anouanze 4 has once again demonstrated that maritime security is a collective responsibility. No single nation can effectively address the complex challenges that confront our maritime domain alone. The Gulf of Guinea is essential to regional prosperity, international commerce, and the livelihood of millions of our people. This security therefore requires sustained cooperation, mutual trust, and coordinated action. Through this operation, participating nations strengthen interoperability through joint patrols, coordinated planning, information sharing, and professional collaboration. Together, we reaffirm our resolve to combat piracy, armed robbery at sea, illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, trafficking, maritime pollution, and other transnational maritime threats that undermine peace and economic development. The success of this exercise reflects the unwavering commitment of ECOWAS member states to promoting peace, safeguarding freedom of navigation, and strengthening regional security. They also demonstrate the value of working together as partners with a shared vision for a safer maritime security. I commend the commander of the Liberia Coast Guard for his exemplary leadership as operational commander during the Liberia phase of this exercise. I also extend sincere appreciation to the commanders, sailors, Coast Guard men and Coast Guard women, and all personnel from the participating nation. Your professionalism, discipline, and dedication have made this operation a success. The government of Liberia expresses its profound gratitude to the ECOWAS Commission for its continued leadership in advancing regional maritime security. We also recognize the invaluable contribution of our international and regional partners whose technical assistance, training, and cooperation continue to strengthen the maritime capabilities of West African nations. As we conclude Operation Anouanze, let us carry forward the lessons learned and the partnership strengthened over this past week. Let us exercise self as a reminder that our collective security depends upon our continued cooperation and shared commitment to protecting our maritime domain. Finally, I congratulate every participant on the successful completion of Operation Anouanze in full. May the spirit of cooperation demonstrate throughout this exercise continue to guide our collective efforts in building a safer, more secure, and more prosperous Gulf of Guinea. I thank you.
Guests want to say thank you. Because of the rain, we won't strictly to do photograph. So in the first round of the picture, the platform guests are requested to be joined by the captains of the participating ship, the two captains.